Okay, let's be exactly clear on what we're talking about here. I'm talking about opening a file that has password protection on the actual file itself. So an encrypted file that you cannot even open unless you have the password. How much is it going to cost you? Right, the software I'm going to show you for Excel is $40. There is an alternative software as well. So this one just cracks Excel files and it just uses your core processor. That kind of upgrade, if you like, software is this Office password recovery. This one uses your GPU as well. Now that can be very important. They're sort of saying something in the region of 10 times faster if you're using the GPU. Right, let's start cracking some file open passwords. So we'll start off by trying to use the Excel based software. So this is uses just your core processor, but it's a lot cheaper. So a third of the price, in fact, of the kind of more advanced software that's on offer here. Right, to open up this software. Now I'm going to do my best to do a bit of a decent sort of review here, but I'm not going to go through absolutely everything about this software because there's so many different options. So the critical things that I think that you probably want to know is, well, does it work? Well, the answer is it depends on the amount of time you've got to spend. So and how much you know about the password. Yes, it works. It's found a few passwords for me. You can see on screen here. It's found a couple of the passwords. I'd say, in summary, this one here with the random numbers and letters and, you know, a percentage sign and things like that, unless you've got some clue about that password, forget it. You'll see why in a minute. You're going to be, you know, your great grandchildren will still be waiting for that to be cracked. Right. Let's start with an easy one then. The dictionary attack. Right, in it goes. You can see it's already cracked this one. You can use their attack scenarios, so they've got like various ones here. So this one I happen to know from running it many a time. It's got about 185 million passwords it tries to use, and it just goes through. So it's presumably based on their experience of the kind of passwords people use. When I used that, it failed to find the password up for Excel, but it did find password dictionary. Now when I say it failed to find the up for Excel password, I ran it overnight for 3 nights running. And actually there's one great thing about this software actually, and that is that you can hit this stop button at any time and then the play button and it'll just resume from where you left off, or it gives you the option to. So it's kind of handy because although it runs in the background and it's possible to do things like surf the web or something, what it's definitely not possible to do is run spreadsheets. Crikey, I mean, it makes your spreadsheets run like a total dog if you've got this one trying to crack passwords in the background, you know, kind of forget it. You want to be pausing it if you want to do any kind of serious work on your computer and run it overnight. So yeah, effectively free overnight runs to go through all 185 million passwords that it says it was going to try. Didn't find it at the end of it. So just bear that in mind. This is not a guarantee that that's going to work. Brute force, right? So just show you quickly brute force. So this one, you can say which types of characters you want to use. So if we go up here, let's just clean up the screen a bit, right? So all uppercase letters, right? And you can set your password lengths here. So let's be a bit realistic about this, right? You're not going to have a 1 character long password. That's ridiculous. So let's go from 4 to 8. Now look at that. Straight away, just capital letters, 26 years for a 4 to 8 digit long password. And even if you know it definitely is 8, still doesn't make a lot of difference. 25 years, roughly 209 billion passwords to check. Yeah, you can see what I say, forget it. Add in small characters, you're now up to like 6,500 years. Add in some numbers, you're now like 27,000 years. Add in your special characters. Look at this, look, craziness, right? Imagine if you go up to 10, say you want to go to 10 character long passwords. Can't do it, next big bang. A little comedy value in here, right? So, how are you going to do this? Well, let's take off the specials. We're still at some sort of ludicrous amount of years. What do we know about it? Say you think the word password is somewhere in there. You could try sort of, it starts with, so it's definitely password. Then it's sort of, I don't know, like maybe try a 3-digit number after the word password. Yeah, that's going to take 15 minutes, right? So not too bad. Yeah, so that's brute force attack. We then have, just push the sort of play button here. Brute force with extended mask. Now this gives you, there's an entire, I'm not going to go through this, but there's an entire programming language where you can sort of set up things to say, you know, whether you want, like, you know, I want an uppercase character followed by, you know, 4 lowercase characters and symbols and stuff like that, where you can really get quite complex. The programming language, incidentally, is in the help file, so you can usage macro language alert, and it tells you what these things are. I'm not going to use that, but it's there. Then what you've also got a dictionary based attack, so you hit on next. Right, so this is what we're going to use to find our word dictionary. So we're going to check the word as it is, but you can have sort of some mutations, for example. So, you know, so as it is with their, what they call their small English dictionary, going to take 8 seconds, right? So let's just try that, right? Run it. Okay, ran, didn't find the password though. Right, let's try our dictionary attack again. This time though, medium-sized dictionary. This one, 1 minute, 45 seconds. Right, so let's let that one go and see how we're going to carry on. Now, one thing that I do notice about this software is it tends to check the passwords in alphabetical order. It's found it already, right? So it's found the password as dictionary. Now, when it finds a password, you can click on it and it copies it to the clipboard for you, which is kind of handy. And then, so we will then kind of, if we go in here, go to our open, so it's this one, dictionary, open it up, ask for the password, Control V to paste, click OK, and we're in. Brilliant, right? So found that one relatively quickly, yeah? So that was pretty good. So what about up for Excel? Right, so I'm going to click in that. Next, right. So I've actually done a previous experiment on this and tried to run this default attack for that password. It didn't find it. Okay, so it took 3 days overnight, didn't find it. So I know that that is not going to work. And I think, to be fair to them, probably the reason it doesn't is because their dictionaries probably don't contain the word Excel. I think if that said something like up for sport or something like that, it probably would find it, because you can see the types of passwords it was checking as it was going along. It sort of, as it checks, it sort of shows you sort of like every other password or whatever that it's checking, or, you know, 1 per second that it happens to be looking at, and you can tell, you know, that it would find that. In fact, I did actually think it would find it, but it didn't. So let's show you how to use the mask then. So we've already said, so we know it's got all those 3 in, and we know it's 7 characters long, right? So let's, so from what I know about this password, and I mean, I wrote the password, so I darn well know what it is. It still says it's going to take 420 something years to find it. Okay, so we're definitely going to need a mask, right? Now, imagine that we somehow know what the first 2 characters are, and we don't know the rest. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Still saying it's going to take 40 days, right? It's really not good, yeah? So let's replace that with a 4. 15 hours. that with a capital E. We're now down to 15 minutes. Actually, we've got an extra character here, haven't we? Yeah, so we're 15 minutes, sorry, there. So you can see as I'm typing in the password, right, 14 seconds if I've only got two characters missing. Now, the only reason that I think that might be slightly useful is for, you know, I used to have a password system where, you know, these passwords where they sort of say you have to use a different password every single month, like you might have at work or whatever. So if you're kind of rotating the last 2 digits, you have some kind of rotation system, but you just don't happen to know, you know, it could be anywhere from like, you know, 00 to 99 or something, or even a 3-digit one on the end. This will work pretty well, and it's guaranteed to find that, because it's just like running through every single thing. And also, especially if you know that's just a number, you can take those 2 off, look, and it's going to take 3 seconds. That's just too simple for it. That's all lowercase letters, actually. 1 minute 6 seconds, great. Right, let's run that, see what happens. So you can see it's sort of showing you some random. This isn't every single one it's trying, but yeah, there you go. Up for itself, found it. Next attack, this really difficult one here, right? Sorry, let's move that over there. This extract data, by the way, I don't think it's necessary. It doesn't seem to do anything different. Now that, you could say, well, let's run a default attack on it, but I happen to know that all default attacks take 3 days. It's not, I mean, I suppose it's worth a try, but it's certainly no guarantee of it finding the password. This is one, we know it's not a dictionary, we'd have to use a brute force, we've got to use everything, we're using special characters, you know, we've got no idea what the length is, so we'd have to go like 1 to maybe, let's do, you know, you just can't do it, basically. You can't do it, never going to work. You need to know for a fact, I would say, that you're only looking for a 4-digit password if you've got no idea about the password and you think it's got special characters in it. Best you could hope for is a 4-digit one, really. The moment you go up to 5, it's saying it's going to take a year to find it. And it just so happens this password starts with an A, so it probably wouldn't take a year. It'd take 1/26th of a year, but that is a long time. That's what, 2 weeks solid. And that's because it starts with an A, and I happen to know it runs through in alphabetical order. Links to all this software is in the description, so have a look. If you're interested, go in and have a look. See you soon.